All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you and just like me. Okay, so people are talking again today about Dolly Parton. She's the biggest story in rock music, and her album is out there, and it debuted, I think, at number 6 on Billboard. Anyway, here is my top album for 2023, Voyage. Who the heck is Voyage? Well, if you go out and see them perform, they're going to be doing the music of Journey. And I've had a few insiders tell me that this is better than anything Journey has done as a band since Raised on Radio. And I pretty much agree. I just do. Even better than Trial by Fire? Yes. That's how much I like Inception. It borrows, it's derivative of all things, both Journey and Steve Perry. The first day I listened to it, I'm like, it's the best thing I've heard this year. It's not even close. Now, in different genres, I have favorite albums, but as far as real rock music, and at times it's fairly adult contemporary as well, you should go listen to Inception, all right, by the band Voyage, featuring my buddy Hugo Valenti, who can still bring it. Sings like a rock star, all right? Now, Dolly Parton, okay? I'm getting a lot of pushback about the whole Dolly Parton thing. It seems that the biggest story in rock music this year is Dolly Parton's rock star. What does that say about the state of rock? There's a lot of talk about the band Kiss and all the stuff that's going on with them, the end of the road and the car crash and the flu and all of that stuff. But when we're talking about, say, a new release, Rockstar is the big news. It's not a real rock band from, say, 20 or 30 years ago putting out a new album. There have been big names this year that have dropped. The Rolling Stones, right? Here's a recent big release. They actually got displaced by Dolly Parton. I mean, we were talking about the Stones for a couple of weeks, but now we're back to talking about Dolly Parton. All right, Dave, what's wrong with Dolly? You're being really mean. This is uncalled for. Look. I've said this in every video. I love Dolly Parton as a singer. I think she's a good person. She's a decent person. She does a lot of charitable things. She donates her time. She's 77 years old. So for over a half a century, Dolly Parton has given us her best when it comes to entertainment value. All right. Now, let me get into this story here. And it's just weird. This is on all of the classic rock websites. Now, my first question to all the classic rock stations that are putting this story on their website: are you guys playing anything off of Rockstar? You playing the Steve Perry duet? You playing her version of We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions? Are you playing that? Because she sang that at the Cowboys game in the little cheerleader outfit. Had all the old guys just oohing and eyeing. And I was just like, what? Finally, I did hear some commentary by Stu Bergier. He's the guy who's like Glenn Beck's sidekick. And he's like me. He's like, yeah, it was good until I saw her in the outfit. And then I said to myself, yeah, there's something off. That's the way he put it, or bizarre, or not, just not right. And that's the way I see it. I mean, look, you don't have to agree with me. I have different takes, and hence that's why people will watch this channel. I could say, Dolly Parton is a rock star. Of course. Dolly Parton in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Well, duh. She's just the greatest. She deserves to be there because she appeals to youth culture. And she's a big influence on rock stars. Huh? No, that's not true, but I'm just quoting from the Hall of Fame. Why certain people get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, yeah, Dolly checks all the boxes. She doesn't, but They needed to put another woman. They're running out of women to put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So Dolly Parton. That's, you could say, well, Willie Nelson went in too. So, hey, Willie Nelson, right? If you're listening, buddy, time to record a real rock and roll album, Willie. Not the outlaw country, not the schmaltzy ballads. Just do a full-blown, 90-year-old Willie Nelson. Maybe Willie will go out there at halftime in some short shorts and God forbid, right? It's just, I don't even know. So here's the story. The album Rockstar features guest appearances by Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Steven Tyler, Stevie Nicks, Sting, Steve Perry, Joan Jett, and the Blackhearts. Debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200 album chart. What does that say about rock and roll, the state of rock and roll? Think about this. I'm coming in here from a different angle. The plane, I was going to land the plane just at the fact that Dolly's a country artist, but what does that say about rock and roll these days? First of all, rock and roll, there's no rebellion going on. We know that because they're all sponsored by Big Pharma, right? And they loved and embraced and destroyed their own industry 2 or 3 years ago when they scared everybody away. People are starting to come back, but Kiss, for instance, they had to cancel a couple of shows, and I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of that tour got canceled. I'm not saying it will be. Maybe it won't be. Those MSG shows, they certainly want to wrap things up in New York City. And I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Anyway, Rockstar is Dolly's highest charting album ever, and her third career top 10, following 2014's Blue Smoke and the brilliant Trio album from 1987 with Linda Ronstadt and Emmylou Harris. See, that's where I like Dolly. Dolly, Linda, and Emmylou. That's where Dolly belongs. That's where she's a great artist, an incredible singer. But I don't need Dolly Parton doing Queen or Journey songs. It's just not for me. But not only did the album hit the top 10 at number 3, Rockstar also debuted at number 1 on Billboard's top album sales chart, selling 118,500 copies. That's in this day and age, that's insane. That's like it's at the Walmart checkout. I know it's at Cracker Barrel. And it's probably in a few other places. So, hey, there's Dolly's album. They want $20 for it, by the way. $19.99. Well, there is a lot of music on it, but still, I'm just blown away by this. Her previous best-selling album was 1993's Slow Dancing with the Moon, which sold 50,500 copies in its second week in release. And people were buying albums in 1993. They're not buying albums anymore. So the 118,500, that's like going platinum your first week. That's like 1 million plus in this era. If you factor in how people get their music these days. So astonishing. Her manager, the publicity behind this, the Dallas Cowboys game, the slow rollout of these songs, the guest list. This is a flawless marketing campaign, and kudos to Dolly Parton and her team. See, I recognize that was super well done. And Dolly is an ambassador of everything. Who basically doesn't like her? That's why this is difficult for me to say, but she's not a rock star. All right. And maybe 5 years from now, people will have forgotten about this unless she does a follow-up, which I hope she doesn't, but she's going to look at these numbers and people, I'm sure, around her are going to say, Dolly, you really need to do this again. Maybe they need to go into the studio and do all original tunes. Maybe it should have kind of a country outlaw flavor to it. I think that would be better than, covering certain things that I just don't think her voice works on. But I don't know. This, of all the things I've talked about with the Dolly Parton Rockstar topic, it's the thing that kind of is really obvious is that the state of rock and roll, it's not good. It's on life support. If somebody can come in, Dolly is basically a rock and roll interloper. She comes in, she says, hey, nobody's doing this, so I'll do it. That's basically what she did. Nobody's really doing this, and I'll do it, and people like me, and I know how to market this stuff. This, by the way, should be a wake-up call to all the record labels, all the people out there who are trying to be successful in this business, right? And I get it. It's about branding now. It's about surrounding yourself with familiar names. It's not necessarily about the quality, the content. It's a lot about the hype. And, I showed you this album at the beginning. This is quality content. This isn't about the hype. Nobody's talking about this. Not one classic rock website mentioned that Steve Perry is basically reincarnated here, short of some of that obvious Steve sound from the 80s. I mean, nobody's going to duplicate Steve Perry perfectly, but man, oh man. And, I showcase things. I had a band that was very derivative of Bad Company last year, which became my favorite album of last year. This year, it's derivative of Journey. Next year, it'll probably be derivative of something else. Then I also have traditional country music that I showcase here, like The Great Divide. This is phenomenal. It's got rock and roll tendencies. This has got more rock and roll tendencies than most of the rock that comes out today. Just brilliant album. But we're talking about Dolly. It's all Dolly all the time. And, congratulations, Dolly. And again, she didn't make a convert out of me, but man, again, brilliant marketing, brilliant presentation. Obviously, Dolly is her best, salesperson. She sells this stuff, and I guess it doesn't help or doesn't hurt, rather, if you go out there during the Dallas Cowboys game as a cheerleader at 77. You're going to get the whole world talking about it, whether it's good or bad, or just you're kind of like, okay, something's a little off by this. It worked. It worked. So that's all I have to say about this. For me, I want rock and roll to come back, and I want people who actually are legitimate rock stars. And they don't have to be rock stars. They need to be good musicians, and they need to put together some great songs, and they need to play it in that style that we've been, deprived of now for at least a generation, if not more. That's where we're at. So, again, congrats to Dolly. That's all I could say. I mean, I'm speechless because this is just bizarre. 118,500 copies. I mean, I don't care who comes out with an album. I think Metallica could come out with an album and it wouldn't sell that many. Maybe it would. I don't know. That's a big achievement for Dolly Parton. So that's my video. I'm rambling. Thanks for watching. Please support this channel via Patreon. Tell your friends. Share the videos. Please subscribe. Also, YouTube memberships. And yes, I have products now tagged on each video. We're in the holiday shopping season, so if you see something you like and you want to purchase it, that helps the channel as well. So there you have it. God bless everyone. Thanks for watching.